So now if you look at on our D2L, and I have upload some file that you can download right here. You just right click and save as, and it's basically is a few of these images to use as a reference. And now the idea for shape abstraction, we're going to talk about the idea, and then we're going to talk about how to use Dynamesh, transports to additive technique, sculpting brushes for today. Okay, and so go ahead, download the file. I already have mine, so I'm gonna just copy my file.
Where is this at?
It's on the D2L under week 1 lecture page.
Okay.
And right here. Okay, let me week 1. C2. Let me have a few of these. One moment, let me organize my file quick. And if you are working here, make sure you save your file into D drive. Don't work directly to your thumb drive or your hard drive. It's risky of crashing and things like that. One reference. Here we go. Okay, so I am copy all my file in there, and let's take a look at the reference. I have more than what I sent it to you, so you might have questions. How many reference do you need? A lot. You should download your reference more than what you need. It's always better to have more than less. So, but we will focus on the structure of the face, of his head. Her head is a female lion. And now, how can we abstract this? Let's take a look at the idea quick. Right here. This is simplify, and it's more like a Disney style technique. So, ball shape, basically a geometry shape. You can see, and cut another ball, and then you can connect with a cylinder. This is a different shape. It's just more abstract. So can you see? Now we can even do more simplified than that. And then you add more section. So basically look at on the form and skip all the detail. Just use the overall contour of the form that you see it, and think about basics. Now, with this technique for drawing is good because so that it forces you to understand the volumes. But when we sculpting the 3D, it's already presented like directly, the volume show it to us right away visually. But drawing, you draw in two-dimensional. Even though 3D, that what we're doing is it's also two-dimensional. It's just imitation of 3D space with the 3D space. That's all. Like for example, I showed this one to you. It's really simple actually if you understand just only the basic form. Nothing else much at all. And don't worry about what I'm doing on the shortcut yet. See, just a basic form. You could even do more detail than this, but I don't think it's necessary. Now, in ZBrush, you actually don't have to abstract the form like this. There's a basic tool like Z-Sphere, make things faster. However, on this exercise, I like you to understand the process of extraction of the geometry. Like for example, if you open up Photoshop and just bring some image of this. Let's do Photoshop. And I forgot to bring my pen. That's okay. One moment. Company. Okay. Adobe always make things less convenient. So I'm gonna open one of the file. Let's bring the head. I'm gonna just do something simple. Come on. What? Oh, here we go. Okay. So basically, when you look at on the form, this has a little distraction of the muscle and vein. If you pick up the one that, maybe I should, hold on. Maybe I should pick up the one that has less distraction. How about this guy? Oh, he's already done that. How about this? Okay. So now you could, like for example, you just look at on, oops, the overall shape. You can mode. It's on grayscale. RGB. Do flatten. Okay. So now circle. And the eyes are, of course, circle. But when you look at right here, so it's like a long rectangle, but if you look at on this section, it's circle, so it will be a cylinder instead. And another ball right there between. Now, and right here you can have another ball, a big head, and then the jawline. Now the jaw, you can do something like this, right? And so basically for the first project, that's what you're gonna try to do. I'm doing too quick. If I do myself, sorry, I didn't have a pen, so I would try to make it look like three-dimensional ball. And sorry, I'm not good at mouse here at all. So for example, if you look at the ball, you will create a, let me try to make it slower so that I could really show it to you. Okay. So now, based on this, you don't really have to do exactly like what I'm doing because we are not doing drawing. So basically, I am looking at on three-dimensional here. So now the direction of the head going this way, so there will be an axis. So if you're thinking about the axis, like sphere, this is the line, right? I don't know if people who offline can see. Hold on.
Right.
Yeah. So like this. So if you tilt the head up, the line goes straight. Is we can, let's say this is x-axis, this is y-axis. So y-axis go that way. So now in this case, this will be a y-axis. Here we go. So now how can we make it looks like a three-dimensional? So you have to see the direction. If it's a little tilt toward to me, if this is the center, and the sphere will look like this. So this is going to be on the side. Can you see? It should be narrower, but that's how I draw it. So now, in this case, if you put the ball right there, do the same thing, direction. And if you don't understand this today, it's okay. I can help you to explain later. So now in this case, I can start it to connect my cylinder. And then this is the core, so the top part will be right here, hit it. If you put the plane on it, you will see it right away. Can you see? Like that. And then another, if I do the box will look like this when it's contacted to the center of it. So, see if you can see it like that. And let me change the opacity. So this will be right here, 100%. And will look like this. Here we go. Can you see that? That's the either cylinder or box. I use the box because it's easy to draw. So you can see the three-dimensional. Okay. So now, so when you abstract, you just abstract like this. When you draw, you don't have to draw three-dimensional. You could just draw like straight line, curve, sphere, cylinder, and then when you sculpt, you just started with a shape. So like simple shape like this. Okay. So now let's talk about a basic sculpting tool first. So I'm gonna create a new scene, turn that off, switch, Control N to clear the screen. And so after this is the interface, we already talking a little bit about that. Now on the side there's a tool. You can double click to collapse or extend. Can you see on this side? Same here, you can expand that left side. Now you see the brush by default. We want the brush to be right here for today so that you can see the brush selection. And these are the brush set that you are using. Yes?
I'm not quite sure how to drag it out.
To say it again?
Just dragging it out. I didn't know. I was trying to double click it like you said.
Oh, you mean double click this?
Yeah.
Just you double click on the bar here next to the label.
Oh.
It's not allowing me to edit.
Pardon?
It is not allowing me to edit while I'm on ZBrush.
Did you create the object yet? So let me reinitial this quick so that your screen look like mine. Okay. So it looked like this at the moment. Right now, let's change the new document so that it fit. Under new document, turn on W size with size. And then I don't like the range of gradient, so I'm going to turn it off by right here on the 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth box. Range, turn it to 0. Now you can change your background if you like by grabbing and hold black and then move it to color chooser. I would like to be a little gray. There we go. So
I didn't get rid of the other options because they're showing tools, they're showing
do you have tool here?
stuff, so I'm not able to get rid of those.
I think what you do, if you don't mind me saying, I actually had to look it up too. I think you just click light box and it should take it off.
Oh, do you have this happening
Yeah.
here?
Which thing? Yep, that's
Okay,
like,
just sorry, I forgot about that. This is light box, so there's a button here, and then when you hover your cursor over it, can you see there's a comma sign? So you can use comma key to
yeah, and
toggle
that
on
white
and
box
off.
you have on the corner, mine's off the screen.
Yeah, that happened to me last time too when I was on the app stream. It took me a hot minute to figure out how to get that thing off of there.
Oh,
I think you just gotta click the light box thing again though. Just make it.
so yeah, try to use shortcut the comma key. See if you are able to toggle off or not.
Comma key.
Yep,
Yeah.
in front of the period, next to
Okay.
the M key. Shortcut.
Command.
Are you able to?
It brought up what is it? The
How about
it's
this?
showing all the applications now after I clicked it.
Mm,
Because
can
I'm
you,
using the reason I'm having those difficulties because I'm using a Mac.
well, how about this? Um, maybe you might want to close the app stream and then reopen it, see if it's coming back. And if it's not, when we take a break, I will let you share your screen so that I can go over it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So,
It's still there. Ah.
oh man. Can you press comma key, see if it turned off? There's two things though. There's a screensaver, and on screensaver you might want to try either control W. That might close it. You know, screensaver is right here.
Control W, you said?
Yeah, see if it closes up.
No, it is not.
Hold on, guys. Just in case, this might be useful with people who are using AppStream. So, Glenn, hold on. I'm gonna stop, and I'm gonna let you share the screen. One moment. How
Okay.
do I go there?
Have to reopen it.
No, I'm gonna let you share the screen. Hold on, one moment. Nope, not that. Glenn. Advanced sharing, multiple can share screens. It should be an option that I can just enable only you. How about this? I'm gonna let everybody share, but do not share, just only Grant. Who can start? Who can share? Who can start sharing when someone else is sharing? Only host. Okay. So, Glenn, can you share your screen
Yep, it's allowing me.
on Zoom?
Hold on. Yep, there we go. See, I have it like this. And so it's the white box is not in the sit right on here.
Oh, no. The white box is supposed to be there. It's a silhouette. So if you go to Document menu, click on it, and then click on New Document.
Now with this, with it being orange, you just
Yes,
click off.
you have to leave it on so that it fit the whole screen. Click on it, and don't save. That's it. And then go to Document, and then you can turn off the range to 0. Can you see my cursor also?
Right
here.
No, I do not.
Down. Go down. That's okay. You can leave it there too. Okay.
Okay.
And I think you're good at this moment. Can you just stop sharing?
Yes,
and I
sir.
will share.
There you go.
Okay. All right. So it's not screensaver. It's just these are preview. What it does is if you click on the tool and then just create a sphere, start, click, and drag to draw. Now, if you hold Shift key, it will snap to vertical or horizontal. So now, after you've done that, you need to turn on Edit menu. Shortcut is T. Now when you
Just
turn
click
it
here.
on, now you are under edit on this scene. So, and can you see right here on the left side, those are silhouette to preview your silhouette.
Yeah, it's not appearing. The sphere isn't, at least.
Did you use sphere? Right here, click and choose sphere.
Oh, I know. It shows that one. It's just not appearing on the screen.
On your screen,
Yeah, it's not showing anything. Not showing a sphere. It's giving me the option to choose it, but not appearing when you click it or drag
no,
it.
when you click here, can you look at my screen quick? And then you started to draw it. Let me turn this off. Let me clean again. Click the sphere, drag. Did you
Oh,
click
that's
the
the
drag?
problem. Is the edit. It won't even allow me to turn it on. Yeah, it's what's it? It's not highlighting, so it's not giving me the option to.
Did you draw it? Did you draw on
For
screen?
draw? Let's see. I tried. Oh, there. You have to move. Yeah, you have to hold it down and move it.
Yes,
There
you
go.
can't just click. You have to click and
Yeah, I
drag.
thought it would. It would just automatically make it happen.
Okay, and turn on edit. So now let's talk about this part a little bit. At the moment, when you under document, when you create new, it will create a pixel that fit whatever is displayed on your screen. So it means if you have a wide screen, it will fit that wide screen. So it means the pixel on your monitor may be different than mine right here. Now, this is a canvas. When you hold Alt right mouse click and let go Alt key, you zoom in, right? It's actually you scale the pixel. Now, if you look at right here, this is different. You have zoom, but can you click and drag? You literally zoom in or out your canvas because there might be a time that you want to see it, how it fit. Because if you somehow you are required to render this out 5,000 pixel, and if you click actual pixel, they're gonna crop it on your screen. So this is allow you to look the outside of your canvas. So these are not zoom the model. You zoom in the frame, in and out. And then you have actual. Actuals mean the actual pixel. So if my document, right now my screen pixel is only 1479. If I put 2000, this will be like this. Hold on, zoom, will be like this. So, and just want to let you know now the actual, when you click, now there's a anti-alias half side, so it just shrink it down. So these are different than the actual rotate and zoom in here. It's actually doesn't, it's not, this, I mean, this operation is actually, it's not calling zoom. It's actually scale the model. I don't know why they call that on the document. But people just call zoom because it makes more sense. So I click actual. Here we go. So now there's a flaw in perspective. When we do sculpting 3D for either print or for 3D animation or 3D game, always a good idea to use a perspective. However, we are not going to turn on yet. We're going to align all the geometry first, and then I'm going to show you how it looks. Now the floor, we need to turn on if you want a cast shadow when we do a basic rendering. And then there's a local symmetry. We will use time to time. It depends on if it depends on the surface, the geometry, if the orientation not line up to the workspace when you do a symmetry left and right and so on. And these are rotate your canvas. So Now you also have frame to fit the object. I'm not gonna dolly out. Okay. And then you have zoom 3D, that what you're using. Oh, okay. Now it does say zoom 3D. Yeah.
There you go. Now I'm
So
able to
it's
see.
basically you just alt click. That's the same function. And then move, you just kind of tracking. Okay. And now this one, if you press F, it will frame the selection. And if you want it to tumble, you can hold shift. Can you see? When you hold shift, it's kind of snap. Now the sphere, we can't really see it. So, and now polyframe, we will use some time to identify the polygroup. And I will explain about polygroup and when we need it. And then you have transparency. Now transparency, if you have only one object, it doesn't show anything. Let's try. I'm gonna let's duplicate. Let's insert. Let's go ahead, click insert. Now, as I said, a pen is also working, but if it insert, it will convert the primitive into a editable poly or poly mesh. So I'm gonna use insert. Insert and insert cube. Now they're just on top of each other. You can spread this away by using a move tool or 3D gizmo 3D, and then you can just grab one axis to move. There we go. So now you have two objects, two subtools. It's still in one single file. Okay. So now, while we still on the cube, if you turn on transparency, can you see? Now you can see. Now you're focusing on only the selected subtool. Now to switch, you switch to draw. You'll be on edit. At the moment, though, see standard brush. Can you double click on the left side of your monitor so that we can see? And these are the listed default listing. And if you change your brush, let's try click on this select brush selection icon. These are the icon of the brush that presented. These are the selector. So when you click the selector, you will get this set. And there's a bunch of them. So if you filter by press M, you will filter only the brush that started with the alphabet M. So let's select move. So now you're on move, and you can move geometry. This geometry is already converted from primitive to a object, to the editable mesh. Now, can you alt click to switch to the sphere and go ahead, try to move it? Can you see? It said to enable sculpting, please convert to 3D, convert this 3D primitive into poly mesh. So what you need to do is you just click yes, and then you go to make poly mesh 3D. Here we go. So now this is what my concern is. When you do that, ZBrush somehow is convert this and clone it into a different file. So this is the original, and these are not editable mesh at all. So it means if you build it later and you want them to become one, the best bet, the way to do is you need to reappend this inside there. So now the name might be confusing for you because, can you see, if you look at that one, see there's have a really same name. It's is it's only at right here, polymash 3D. So it means it's clone. It would be nicer if it said clone, but it doesn't say that. See, the original is just sphere 3D-1. And the clone one is just at PM 3D, which is polymash 3D. So this is how we do it. So this guy, we don't need it anymore, right? We could just delete them. Here we go. And then you just use a pen. You don't have to insert this time. You can do insert too. If you do a pen and choose the PM3D, Maya will understand that that's PM3D is editable. So now I can move them. So that's a little things that you need to concern about, because sometimes you get so confused because you feel like, oh, I lost the work that I did and I don't know where it is. It just try to do this from now. Don't use a pen, use insert, so that everything converted right away when it's get inside your sub2. Otherwise you have to do like what I just did. So now,
And does the insert stay on?
say it again.
Does the insert stay on? Because as soon as I move away from it, it closes.
Oh, I mean, if you select other category, it will close up. You have to go back to the sub2. It's under sub2, and insert should be right there.
Yeah, I clicked that one and it keeps on closing.
Closing what?
Like when you move off the insert button, it goes away before I'm able to click the cube.
Oh, that might be like this, right?
Yeah, that's what I try to select it.
Yep. Can you try to click only one click? Just one click on the insert and don't click anything, just move. See, I had that problem too. Sometimes it's too fast.
Ah, there we go. Now.
So do it a little slower so that it would be off that pops up window. Okay, so now I don't even need the cube, so I'm gonna delete it because I just want to show you how it works. So now let's take a look at a work on brush. So turn off polyframe. You highlight it and then you go to delete button under sub2. So on the sub2, well, maybe I should talk about this a little bit more. Okay, guys. So let's take a look at on the sub2 quick. So right now I already deleted, and if I want one more, so we're gonna start it to do this. How about this? So we need more object, right? Of course. So right now we have the one big ball, and then we need a second one. So now to do this, before we do anything else, we need to convert this to Dynamesh so that we can sculpt a little more freely with high resolution. And now you can sculpt with the regular standard mesh that has a really good topology. This is a decent topology. When we convert to Dynamesh, basically we can mold that like a clay without worry about the resolution at all. So now I'm gonna turn it on for now, and under geometry, and right here, Dynamesh, expand it. After you expand, this is the Dynamesh button, and blur, normally you would put it to 0. And there's a group and polish. Now the group is Dynamesh multi-group. If you highlight, if you choose, it will, depending on the resolution on each polygroup, we don't need to worry about that. Now polish, I don't really use it. When you turn it on, it's basically soften the edge a little bit. So when you sculpt a sharp edge, when you re-Dynamesh again, it will kind of bevel that part a little bit. And don't need to worry about projection of Dynamesh. Now the resolution, this is where you need. By default 120, you want it to go from not too high, and then up little by little toward to the detail. The reason is, if it's too high, we can't, it take time to smooth them, to reduce. So low res, when you want it to form a big shape, like when we're gonna start this. So I'm gonna just leave 120. When you click Dynamash, it look like this. This is actually dense. We can, let's turn off polyframe, let's test. Now after you Dynamash it, also one more thing before we leave, before we move on. Under material, right here, I prefer to use basic material. This will take up the light also. We'll calculate the lights more proper than the matte cap. Any shader on this section, it has its own all has its own lighting, so you can't, it doesn't really calculate well with the light when we use for that rendering. But this section is the one that will take up the light correctly. So I like to use basic material here. In the future, you can try to play around with this too, but for sculpting, basic material would be the best. Now, the resolution is already high, but we turn off smooth. That's why we still see the facet. So you can hold shift key. Before you hold shift key, let's click on font view so that we see that head forward to us. Let's turn on symmetry. So under stroke, under transform, and then active symmetry. Shortcut is X. So when I turn it on, by default is enable X symmetry. You can switch to Y. Like see, this is X. Let me talk about that a little bit. So
Your geometry gives a lot of options.
Under transform, see right here menu, transform. I'm gonna dock it here, and then activate symmetry. And then it's X. So now X is this direction. Now if you turn on floor, and I'm gonna enable X, Y, Z so that we can see it. And then if I switch to X, switch to Y, can you see it look like this based on the Y direction? And if I switch to Z, Z is a front and back. Here we go. So I'm gonna switch back. Now these are material, mirroring, sorry, not material. And you can have a radius also. We'll talk about that later. We don't really need to use it. So this is the mainly that you use, active symmetry. Now if I press X, see it's off, X again is on. So I'm gonna turn off a floor, and then now to get rid of the palette here, you just grab this switch and just drop it on canvas. Will go away. So now, if you hold shift key, doesn't matter what brush you are at. Can you see when you hold shift key, the brush display switch to smooth? It's allow you to smooth, so I can soften this shape, the surface. I turn on symmetry. You might have to switch to the back. And to rotate it, just left mouse drag on screen to rotate it. And to track, left mouse with Alt key, hold on together. To zoom, hold Alt and then click with the right mouse button, so not left guys, right, and let go Alt, you zoom in and out.
Professor Street.
Yes.
Do we have like a Discord or a public thing, public
We
place
do
that?
have Discord. I haven't set up mine yet, but we do.
Because I actually have like a whole like 4 or 5 playlists that kind of goes on like what you're talking about, and I just feel like some like extra resources would also help.
Yes.
I could email you the playlists if you want me to.
No, that sounds good. Yes, do it. And I think I'm gonna go set up the Discord and see if we can share things. Um, maybe I might add the new discussion group, discussion section that you guys can put any information there that related to our class. Okay. So now we get to this point. Let's go back to sub 2 now. So I'm gonna enable sub 2. So now we're gonna duplicate this so that if you look at on sub 2, you can click duplicate. Now when it's duplicate on the current selection. So when I duplicate, right now it's on top of each other. Just turn on move, and I'm gonna move forward. Go to side view. Here we go. And my transparency is on, so I'm gonna turn off temporarily. And move. Now the shortcut is W to switch to move. And then you can scale it down. So this will be a part of, let me go back to here. So this is the section here. Smaller will be on the front of the mouth. Okay. So then I'm gonna move. So it look like that. Okay. And we're gonna create the eyes. So now we're gonna just duplicate this sphere. So duplicate it again, and then reposition it. And guys, ZBrush, when you do mirroring, it will use the left side. So make sure you put on the left side. Otherwise, you're gonna have to flip them. So this will
It's
be
moving
the
all over the place for me.
Say it again.
It's moving all over the place for me.
Did you move only one axis? Can you see? You select the axis like this.
Yeah, the axis is upside down, I think, for me.
Can you click this screen, this button, to go to font, top, bottom? So, and if you get confused, you can turn on a floor also, so that you can see what direction are you doing. Can you see the floor? So, I mean, on the floor, you can turn off. I can turn off the. How about X? Just only Z and Y here. Here we go. So that you can see this is the back side. Now we're gonna make the head a little longer. I think it's, well, no, don't do it yet. We'll do it later. So now I'm gonna have to turn on transparency, and we're gonna cut off the eyes. Right now it looks like this at the moment. Don't worry, it looks a little awkward, but, and I'm gonna press Q switch back to draw. Here we go. And now if I'm gonna edit the head, I'm gonna hold Alt key, left mouse click to active that subtool. So basically you don't have to select from here to there. Can you see? You could just use the Alt key to help. So I'm gonna turn off floor, and at this moment I like it to trim the size of the head a little bit. It's too round, right? Now, if you can actually use another brush, there's several tools that you can do that. You can choose a trim dynamics. If you press T to filter, trim dynamics, here we go. Then if you go to the side, trim dynamics allow you to flat the surface based on the angle of your camera. Can you see? Look like this. It's based on the angle. So if I undo it, if I just turn this way, it will flat into that angle. Here we go. Can you see? Now, let's try this. When I did to cut this part, I actually used Boolean Dynamash technique. But there's another simple way too. So if you go to side view, if you hold control key, when you hold control key, can you see it switch to mask pen? What mask pen does is allow you to mask certain area on the surface, and those masks will be untouched. So it means if I use trim dynamics, and let's try. Here we go. Can you see? It's kind of prevent you to modify the area that mask. So now to unmask, you hold control key and drag on the canvas. Here we go. So now it's not perfect, but you can take some time to fill it up. Like for example, I can soften it. Here we go. And if I want this to be sharp cut, what I can do is there's another brush. If you click on the brush and press D, D is there's a damn standard. It's actually Damien, the guy who created this brush. It's allow you, if you press S, you can change the size of your brush. Allow you to kind of scrap it too. Now I think I need more resolution. So
can I interrupt real
yes,
quick?
go ahead.
A lot of students are confused with the brush settings. I think that you're accessing them quicker than how we can find them.
Oh, okay. Sorry about. Okay. So hey guys, the shortcut
Nobody
of the
can
brush.
change my object yet to cut
Okay.
the gray. It's
The
still
short. Hey guys, shortcut of the brush. You press S. Can you see S? Now there's a focal shift or fall off. It's O. Can you see? So if you want a brush to be harder brush, like this. That's O. Now S, just press one, like tap the S key, and then you can change. So try it again. S, right here. Can you see? Let me dolly out so that you can see. S, increase the brush size, and O is focal shift or the fall off. When you put negative, it will be a hard brush. Okay. Anything else that you guys miss?
one, it won't allow me to get Dynamesh. Two, it's not even showing it transparent. And three, it hasn't even changed the color to gray like yours is. It still has the gizmo.
To change the color, you just click on the material. Make sure you are on edit and draw.
See.
Do you have that edit and draw?
Yes.
Okay. So, and do you have 3 objects, 3 subtool?
3 subtools. I have 2 spheres right now.
2 is fine. So, I mean, you just turn on transparency right here. You can turn it off, like we don't really need it now.
What about the Dynamash? Because I can't
Yeah, I
find
can't get
it.
Dynamesh as well.
Oh,
It shows like positioning.
Okay, before you do Dynamash, make sure you make your poly to be editable first. This button. It need to be it. Okay. And then when you edit that, now you can go to a geometry and enable Dynamash, and I turn off blur to 0. Okay. Now, after you Dynamash one, if you already have 3 subtool, you have to go in each 3 times to do it, to turn on Dynamash. But because I duplicate the original Dynamash, that's why I don't have to do that 3 times. Does it make sense?
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
And
Not exactly.
another thing is to mask, you hold Control key, and can you see the brush selection is shift to
Correct.
a pen mask pen, and then you can click on the surface to draw the mask. So it means the mask, the dark area will be blocked from editing. And you could even do more, like I press S to change the brush size. I press O to change the solid brush. So I can mask this, hold Control key, and then I can mask. If I want it to be like certain shape I want it. Too late for me on this section. So how, Control. And
You
hey
got
guys,
rid of my other spheres.
go ahead.
It got rid of my other spheres.
Did I? Oh, you.
No, mine got erased. So now I only have one.
Just duplicate another one. Just duplicate.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that what you guys mean. Like I said, when you have two sphere, and you try to convert one of the primitive, it will duplicate the primitive into another subtool, into a totally another tool, not just only subtool. So you have to insert it back. So that's why I said you have to make decision before you need to use insert if you did not convert the object. So
Hey, Sri, did you get my email?
Still not working.
when did you send it?
I sent it just now. It has 3 playlists, and I actually, when you do see it, I recommend the guy's whole channel. Like he goes over basically everything to do with ZBrush.
Got you. Yeah. I'll do that. I'll post it on class website or on
Yep.
class D2L. Okay. So now you go ahead using Damien's standard brush to kind of cut through the area you want. Here we go. See? And now if I want this section to fill it up, there's another brush called, if you press H polish. And on H polish, if I, basically it's similar to let's redata mesh. I'm not going to mask them. Here we go. You have to redata mesh often. When you redata mesh, it's like this. So let me remask. Can you see? If you move your geometry, it may stretch. Oh, I already redata meshed them. Hold on. Oh, not yet. So now let's take a look at this. If I redata mesh, basically to redata mesh, you just hold Control key and drag. It will look like you're using masking, but it's actually is a double command. So can you see it now? I redata mesh. So the edge polish allows you to flat. If I turn this off, see, allow you to flat the surface. See? Now, if you hold Alt key, it will try to. I have to explain another thing. Trim Dynamics does not respect the border or the edge, but edge polish does. So it will try to maintain the edge, the between angle of the surface. So now if I'm gonna press S to increase the brush. At Alt key, can you see I can fill it up to fit wherever. When it fill it up, it's basically the first click that will fill the space. So now if it's too much, you can just trim it. So on this section, you don't have to do it perfect because later on the ice ball will be blocking it. We just wanted to get a basic shape. There we go. Don't have to do like what I did on the example, because those are, I use Boolean to cut it. I just try to give a little bit of limitation, not limit, less technical. So, and I hold Alt key with edge polish to fill this section. Here we go. Okay. So basically I want the eyeball to show up, and I think so I'm gonna Alt click the eyeball, press W key, and then I'm gonna move backward a little bit. Okay. And now I forgot to flatten the side. Well, you can use move brush. So, and instead of flatten it, you just kind of form the shape a little bit. And if this is too wide, yes?
I kind of got lost when you started digging into the mesh.
The mesh, yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering what tool I used.
The brush that I use is Damien standard brush to cut in, and then I use edge polish to fill this, to create a little planar look, like here. So now if you use edge polish, when you brush it, it will kind of try to flat. It's like trim dynamics, but it's try to maintain the corner or the edge. Trim dynamics does not. So
what would I press to start cutting into it? Because whenever I try to use it, it lifts it up.
can you, Damien, this one? If you click, press D, and then choose Damien standard. And then Damien is basically cut. Did you get it?
I'm looking for it real quick.
Just click and press D, and then look for Dam standard.
Okay.
It's a short name for Damien.
Okay.
And that's it. And that's, you're gonna use cut.
All right. I got it. Thank you.
Okay. Now, can you guys switch to standard brush quick? If you remember last section I did, if you do standard brush, it's basically like, it's pull and push. This is pull. Now, I'm gonna undo. If you hold Alt key, it will become push instead. So Alt key has another function on each of the brush. So try to use that. So right now, we're gonna create another cylinder to add a new cylinder. It will look a little funny at the moment. You go to subtool and choose insert. Do not append. Insert, so that it convert to editable surface. Cylinder, and I can press W so that I can rotate it. Scale it down. Now, this time it might be hard to see. You will need to turn on transparency. So I'm gonna move. You can click right here, look from the top. Here we go. So that you can reposition it. Okay. Look like this. I'm gonna rotate a little bit on the side. See, when you tumble your scene, you might need to hold Shift key to help to snap, like 90 degree, 45 degree, and things like that. So I'm gonna reposition. I'm gonna change the angle a little bit because based on this, can you see it right there? So angle down a little bit. I think the ball shape, I think it can be bigger. Okay. So I'm gonna turn off transparency for a moment. And I'm gonna make the nose a little forward from the mouth. Now you can convert to Dynamesh right now. When you get to this point, if I turn on transparency, it will look like this. And the next thing is we're going to convert this to Dynamesh, and then we're going to trim it into this shape. Let me grab that. We will trim it to that shape. That's an easy one, actually. So go to geometry, turn off the blur, Dynamesh. And you can soften it a little bit before we move on. Oh, by the way, each subtool has its own transform. So it means if you want a symmetry, you need to enable it on each subtool. So I soften a little bit. Okay, now, can you guys look at my screen quick? So we're going to trim like this. So to do that, if I go Control Shift, I am on select rectangle. If I click, just one click, I can access to a clip curve, clip rectangle. We're going to use clip curve, and later on I will come back and talk about this more and more. So the clip curve, after you click it, you have to hold Control click or Control Shift. Now when I click and drag, can you see? Now the gradient size is the one that will be trimmed. So if you turn on symmetry, I can do like this. Can you see? Look like that when I let go, undo it. Once again, Control Shift together and change from select rectangle to clip curve. And then I'm go to the font view. I can start it to do like this. And if you wanted to change the location, like these are just a tilt moving radius on the center when you started to click. But if you add spacebar, you can actually move them around. So make sure you cut through like this. Like that north shape. How about that? And because of the symmetry is on, so it's make things a little quicker. Here we go. And I think better to have another sphere, another cylinder connected to the mouth. So I'm gonna hold Alt click to this sphere to make it bigger, just a little bit bigger. Too small. If I turn off transparency, it will look like this. So now we can connect this with another sphere. So I'm gonna add insert sphere. Yes.
You lost me at the cutting part.
Oh, the cut? Okay.
I couldn't get it to make the line like you did.
Let me Q. Okay. Let me turn that off quick. So, how about, okay, I know what I should do. Let me undo. Okay, so now to cut it, once again, hold Control Shift together, and then go to Clip Curve, and then choose Clip Curve. Sorry, go to the select marquee. Sorry, right here, one click, selection rectangle, switch to Clip Curve. Now, to clip it, you have to keep holding Control Shift. You started to drag, and I like to, when you first drag, if you drag to the left, the gradient will be on the right.
Are you holding something like
control shift. You have to keep holding control shift.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's it. And then you just make decision where you want it to cut. Now, I cut through, looks like I'm gonna cut through only the bottom, but actually because the symmetry is on, if you did not turn on symmetry, just undo and enable it. So it has to turn on symmetry, and then it will cut like that. Anybody?
Professor Sri,
Yes.
are there like are you here like on like Fridays or anything so we can get like extra help if we like need it?
I have a office hour before class. Oh, actually, hold on. Friday would be good too, but contact me first because I have 2 classes on Friday.
Okay.
So, but most of the time will be a work day on those classes. However, this week it's not because we're missing one section on Monday. So
Okay.
contact me and then you can zoom in into my office hour during Friday. But I forgot to post my Zoom address for office hour. Will be Monday. Oh, will be Tuesday and Thursday before class here. So from 12:30 to 2 o'clock. Okay. So are you guys doing okay?
No.
No? Can
I
you get
had
Still
an
on the
upstream
highs.
crash on
Still
me
on the
halfway.
highs.
crash? Really? Okay. So how about
Get AppStream to even open up
even slow?
correctly
Okay.
without the error.
So
Upstream is open. It's just the brush to use because
let me
right now it's
pause.
not.
I'll wait on slow page. Okay. So let me get this work first. So now I'm gonna go back to this guy. Here we go. I'm gonna scale it. Oh, I was on the wrong one. Hold on. Where am I? Let me delete this quick. The one that. Okay. So now I control click, or you can just select the subtool you need. Turn on move. Scale it down. And I'm gonna go to side view. Here we go. So that I can rotate it. Now, if I need to see it, I can turn on transparency and then just move. You can grab this corner too so that you can move in all 3 directions. There we go. So basically, I just wanted to fill this gap. And I'm gonna make it thicker. There we go. So, okay, and I'm gonna redata mesh this surface, redata mesh, shift, I forgot to press X, here we go. So now we get kind of a little bit basic shape now. On this guy, if you look at on the reference, you can modify them a little bit. I'm gonna use move tool. There we go. Make sure you turn on X symmetry. And if I press S, make the brush size a little larger, I can grab larger area and I can start it to form it. So I'm gonna form the jawline. Here we go. And now if you look at on the anatomy, not that guy, hold on. Look at on our right here, see the shape, it looks like a little big on the jaw and then started to be slimmer and then on the top of the mouth. Here we go. So it's mean I can use move brush. Just move this forward a little.
Is there a shortcut to get to that one?
The which one?
The move brush?
Oh no, I select the move.
Oh.
You have to select it. And I actually wanted to add a shortcut to put it here, but I think for this week I want you to be familiar with this selection. So I'm not going to put any shortcut. Next section we will do shortcut. changing the interface, not interface, add a little shortcut on the bottom and things like that. But for now, so that you're familiar with this selector, brush selector. Okay. So make sure you look at on 3-dimensional. So now I'm gonna narrow the top part of the head a little bit and make the skull. Here we go. I think this chin might be too thick. Okay. So at this moment, later on we're gonna combine all of this together except for the eyeball, and so that we can blend everything here. Right now we don't have to blend anything. So, and I think the nose. Hey guys, once again, if you hold Alt and click on the object, you will select that subtool so that you don't have to keep coming here and try to select subtool like this. You can just cycling by Alt click, Alt click, Alt click, can you see? And it will highlight. So now when you look at on the nose shape, it has a little rounded on the tip. This is not good. You don't have to do like, I mean, you could if you want it to be a little more like semi-realistic. And so now, right here, I'm gonna use move brush again. And then I'm gonna just move a little forward. There we go. Let's see. And you can look at on from the bottom and then push. And then if it's on the font, I'm gonna change the brush size smaller. Then I'm gonna push this. I kind of trying to build, like abstracting the shape of the form of the lion nose. Now, when you move some at some moment, can you see this is stretch? You need to re-dynamesh. To re-dynamesh, you have shortcut by control and drag. It will re-dynamesh. If you don't do shortcut, you're gonna have to toggle on and off on this, which is unnecessary. Just use control drag. Now I can soften. Now, if I hold shift key, if you wanted to soften just a little bit, look at right here. Z intensity is the strength. So we're gonna reduce it. And then, so that's soft, a little slower. There we go. I'm going to turn off polyframe. Now it look like this. And if I want to, I can soft this section a little bit too. And I'm going to use move brush again. I'm going to look at on the side. I'm going to move this section up a little bit. I think I moved too much. Now, based on the image, the reference, can you see it's narrow and then enlarge? Right here, narrow, like between the eye socket. So you could move.
One question.
Yes.
Is there like a way that you can like import images into ZBrush?
Yes, you can. And also you could do like this too. Hold on. Hey guys. You could do like this too. Right here under see-through, you can put your image on behind the screen.
Oh.
And then you can just do, thank you for asking that. I forgot.
Yeah,
about
because I remember when we did that dump truck back in modeling for entertainment, and we imported the images into Maya. So I was wondering if we could do the same.
We can do that too. Not good as Maya, but we can do that too because I'll show it to you guys next week. It's just like right now I just feel like we don't really need to do accuracy on that. So now ears. So it looks kind of like circle, right? Oh, guys, we haven't saved at all. This is bad. So, Disney Lion, I'm gonna do B1. This is such a bad habit that we didn't save this. Not good. And let's save as will be B2, just in case. Okay. So now I'm gonna go back to this shape a little bit. I wanted to just push this in. Oh, too big. There we go. Okay. Like that. And this guy need to be a little wider right here. Okay. So we're going somewhere now. So hey guys, to save, Control Shift T, shortcut. And you're gonna have to override or rename it. Basically just override. Save to D drive first. Yes, on the local drive, and then when you're done, this is what I often do. See, I save everything is on D drive right now. Let me open. Right.
Your thing doesn't show up. There's no salute on my
Pardon?
There's no salute on my drive.
No. You just create your own folder.
Oh.
Yes, it's just like when you work into different class. Now, when you create your own folder so that people kind of know that there's a stuff that yours, so that they don't delete it, but somebody could delete it. So basically, can you see, look at my screen quick. So I create my own name on this computer. So it means the other computer, I don't have my folder, just only this computer. And then I put my files under week 1 tools right here. So now when I'm done, I'm gonna copy this, or I'm gonna copy the whole folder. And then I'm gonna go to my hard drive right here. And then I'm gonna try to put it back. Did I copy which one? Hold on, let me see. Oh, I copied week 1. So I'm gonna just override it. Replace. This way will be safer because it's used direct memory access to the hard drive, so that if your model, if your something could happen all along the way when you try to save, it could crash, or you might lost your, might not be able to open your file again. Okay. Like what I explained, did I explain that last section about the file saving?
You did, but
Yeah. So just try to really pay attention on that. Oh, by the way, guys, how about the eyes? Oops. To copy this left and reverse to the right is really easy. So I'm gonna active this eye. So, and I'm gonna duplicate. I mean, if you like, you can rename them. When you highlight the sub tool, there's a rename button right there. I can say eyes. Here we go. And I'm gonna duplicate this eye. So now I have eye 2 and the eye number 1. Oh, sorry, I have eye and eye 1. The number 2 ball, I'm gonna go to transformation. Transformation, there's a bunch of these that we can use, but for today, you're gonna just mirror X across X. So now I got 2 eyes. So, and later on, if you edit your eyes on one side, you could do the same process by delete the right side and then duplicate the left, the one that you edit, and put it back to the other side. Now, the ear. So I'm gonna use slender because from the top of the cylinder, it looks like circular, right? Here we go. And then I'm going to rotate it. So I select the move tool, and then I'm going to rotate the sideways like this, scale it, move it out. It looks like this, like a basic shape, really basic shape. And okay, I am not going to rotate yet. Oh, well, no, it's already there. So, and now let's convert this to Dynamesh. So go to geometry and Dynamesh, and if you like, you might soften it. I mean, doesn't have to be perfect for now. So now I'm gonna make this section a little thicker. So I'm gonna use move tool again. Press S. And I'm going to turn off symmetry because there's only one side. Here we go. So think about the ear shape. I'm sorry guys, when you do on your own, it's always a good idea to look at on the reference, because I done this before, so I kind of remember it. And can you see, by default, when you move, it also pull the other side too when it's too thin. But in this case, it's kind of good. So now you can use a trim dynamics and then just kind of cutting it. Depends on the angle. And then soften a little bit. Now the Dynamesh, you have to be careful that geometry are not printed. When you read Dynamesh, if it looks like a cheese, like a bunch of holes, so it means you need to undo it. What happened is a surface, front and back, if they are started to be too thin, crisscross like this, some part, Dynamesh will cut a hole for you. So when you get to that point, let me know and I'll help to fix that. And here we go. I hold Alt key, it reversal from trim to kind of feel it. Can you see? So, and obviously my ears looks really ugly. I totally didn't pay attention what I was doing. There we go. So now I'm gonna scale this down a little bit more, and I could switch to move and started to form. So okay, and if you wanted to trim this section, just use trim dynamics or edge polish. Kind of flatten the corner a little bit and then smooth. Hold shift to smooth it out. Now, if you feel like you want it to smooth quicker, you can go back to Dynamesh and reduce this to, how about just only 60. When you press enter, it might switch to 64, it's okay. And then touch up a little bit and then re-Dynamesh. So now, oh, that's too much. But if it's too much like this, see, the thing is, I can make it quicker to form the shape as I want it. Because we wanted to look at on the last form first, before you add detail. Here we go. Now I can go back to add 128 again. And then re-Dynamesh. You might have to touch up first and re-Dynamesh. Now I can soften it. See, I get back all the resolution that it was. Yes?
But Dynamesh doesn't seem to be changing anything.
did you look at on the button, does it turn on? You have to go to geometry.
No, it's not turning on when I do the shortcut.
Say it again. It's turned on?
I had to like go in and click the button. It won't do it with the shortcut.
Really? Can you try this, like hold control key and drag everything, and then hold shift and touch up a little bit and drag it again, see if it changes? So basically Dynamesh will not perform if there's no editing. Like if it hasn't been touching from the original Dynamesh, it will not perform it.
I was moving it around. I tried to Dynamesh again, but yeah, the control and drag wasn't turning it on or resetting it.
Really? Is it your cap locks on? Can you try different objects, see if it works?
Yeah.
Yes. Anybody has question? No. So, and don't put too much detail yet. Wait a little longer. Get the overall shape first. Okay. I think my ear, the ear is too big. Okay, so just make sure that it has a little bit of overlapping. Now, I'm going to duplicate this ear to the other side again. So under sub 2, I'm on the ear, duplicate, and then I'm going to reverse, go to deformation, and mirror. There we go. So I've got 2 ears. And the neck, just start off with slender again. This is easiest. Cylindrical. Turn on move. And grab. Here we go. Now, before we do this, there's another thing that you can use to scale only one end. So, right here, let me undo before I rotate it. I mean, if you don't remember this technique, you could just use move to keep moving, turn on symmetry. But this is what you can do. Hold on, I shouldn't show you that yet. That's too much work. Too much for today. So this is what you can do. Convert this to Dynamesh, and then I'll show it to you how to. So Dynamesh, turn that off, and then press X symmetry. Let me solve everything first so that it looks kind of smooth. Okay, so now if I hold control key and then I paint that, here we go, I'm gonna mask this. Okay, and now I can blur the mask by hold control key and click. There we go. Can you see? Now because my resolution is too high, so blur is really, it takes so much time to blur. So now I could turn on scale. If I unlock this, I can reposition the pivot point. So I'm gonna change to that pivot point, unlock, and then I can scale down. Can you see? There we go. Now, so I taper it down a little bit. I can do it even more. And you can move like this. Can you see? I'm scaling on the vertical. Here we go. So, how about that? And then I'm going to switch to move to draw and read Dynamesh, soften it, So this is another way. And actually there's another brush that, no, I'm not showing you that brush yet. It's already too much for you guys. Okay. So now I think I got to reduce it to 60. Touch up, read and a mesh, 60. Because I wanted to be able to soften quicker. Oh, this object 60 is still too high. Hold on one moment. Let me reduce it to 16 so that I can solve quicker. Here we go. Yes.
I guess the pivot point unlocked, so I can't scale the softness.
Oh.
I missed that part.
So basically, when you turn on move, here we go, and you unlock this, and then you reposition wherever you want it. Now, I did on the top, but I masked from the bottom. So let me do it again. So I do like this, hold Control key and then masking it, and then blur it a little bit. Now, can you see I have less resolution? I can blur really quick. Like, here we go. And then now, when I turn this on and I change the pivot point, after you change the pivot point, you need to lock it back. Otherwise, it will not do anything. And can you see? Now I can do it like this. I can even scale it or move. See, I can move. I reduced the resolution. That's why I could do this. So now I'm going to bring it back, the resolution, 128. And soften it. Here we go. Okay. And hey guys, if you make a mistake, oh, ha, I didn't pay attention on that. Oh boy. So I'm gonna use trim dynamics to fill that section back. Oh no, I do it too fast. Yes. Let me think quick. Okay, so I make a mistake, like a big mistake. So I'm gonna enlarge it so that my hole is right around there, and then I'm gonna switch to move, and if I hold Control Shift, I can just trim. Here we go. Almost. One more. Now, when you do this, can you see I get that ugly looking there? You know what? It's going to take too much to clean this section. Let me just undo it before I move. No. Oh, I didn't even, here we go. That's it. I forgot to paint this section. So, in this case, I started over because it's easier. So, I'm going to reduce it to 56. Make it low. Let me turn on polyframe. 56 still too much. Let's do 32. Touch up. Here we go. So this will be easy for me. So now I'm gonna paint. Hey guys, you could do like this too. Click and drag to use a marquee tool, and then hold Control soften it. And then I think I should do a little higher here. Okay, so now I'm gonna scale. Let me see if I don't pull on the bottom again. And then I can extend this up a little bit. How about just like that? Here we go. And then I'm gonna soften quickly. Oop, I didn't turn on symmetry again. Okay. So now Hey guys, you can reset your pivot point by unlock and click on this button. That's a pivot point, but it's gonna reset it to along the workspace, so I don't think this one is a good idea. Oh, it doesn't matter actually. So I'm gonna reset to the center. There we go. And maybe I like that one better. Turn this off. Scale it. Okay. Okay, so now it's gonna be just using move tool to kind of fit. Maybe I should trim this section a little bit. Well, hold on, let me see. Okay. I think that's enough to get started. Might be a little too slim for. Okay. I think that's it. Okay. And what time is it? I think we're still good. Let me save. So, okay, that's it for now. I'll let you finish. And if you can't wait for Tuesday, you can play around like this. Let me show you. You don't have to do this, okay? But you can if you want. You're gonna merge everything down except for the eyes. And this is what I would do. So I select the top layer, the top subtool, and then you use a merge right here, merge down. Click OK. I already saved it. So this is undoable. Oh, it's not undoable. So it means you lost if you can't do undo. So, and I merge down, and I'm gonna leave only the eyes, two eyes. Now you can move this up. Can you see the eyes in between the ears? So use this button. This is go up. You want it to be below the layer that you want it to merge to. I'm gonna move the eye down instead. This is move it down, so that is go to the lowest one. Here we go. And now I have three subtool that I need to merge. So merge down and merge one more. Here we go. So now eyes is on its own. Hey, I turned off by accident. I'm gonna merge this down again. I missed that part. Here we go. Okay, so now this is a one object. And at the moment, if I turn on polyframe, there are different poly group. You can just leave it there, but you can redata mesh. Now to redata mesh, you might need to keep multi-group on. So when I done a mesh it, can you see? It keep that color. Now, is that important color? It's really useful subtool because we can do this. I didn't show you yet. If I hold Control Shift and change that to select rectangle, if I Control Shift click, can you see? First click is show only the poly group that you click. If you click again, we'll reverse it. And then you can hide, you can leave. So now the poly group is helpful when you wanted to edit more complex detailed section on each part. Like for example, if I sculpt a hand and then I post a finger like this, it's going to be hard to sculpt on the side. But if we separate this polygroup, you can hide some of them and then you can start it to sculpt in between. We talk about that in the future. So right now, if I want to bring it back, just hold Control Shift click and we'll bring it back. Now at this point, they are not Dynamesh yet, because the reason that I know, because when I click, it shows the inside here, so it's not yet. So now, oops, now this is a problem. Oh no, that's a screen problem. I thought that some parts are too thin. That's a redraw problem. So now what I can do, wow, hold on, let me turn that off. Oh, sorry, turn that group off. That's no wonder why. Okay, here we go. So, oh, okay, I misunderstood on that group. Actually, the poly group is still on, but if keep that group is keep object separated. I forgot about that. I thought it was a keep the group. The group is keeping anyway. So can you see now? If I click, it should look like this. Control Shift click. There we go. So at this point, I can start it to soften it, and I have a really high C intensity, so it means when I solve it will be really quick, and it's still low poly because we wanted to keep it low first before we add detail. Otherwise, we can't really finish blending them together. Here we go. Gonna solve that. And can you see? So now we can start it to do more. Like if I use standard brush, I can start it to make the brows, form the brow a little bigger. And if I Dynamesh, look like this. There you go, soften it. And you can start it to cut more detail on the mouth. There we go. And I can start it to trim hole. I use Damien standard brush. And if I Dynamesh, I can start it to solve. So, I mean, you can play around with this if you like, but if you do it, make sure you look at on the anatomy of the lion, so that you do it correctly. Here we go. I can cut the tear duct a little bit more, and this is why we separate the eyeball, because if you wanted to do if we need to do 3D print on this, it needs to be a single object. But if we separate the eyeball while we still sculpting, can you see it's easier to edit? So I'm gonna just move. And I can do trim dynamics, and I think the intensity is too high. I think it's still too high, but I'm gonna stop soon. This is just an idea for you. And hey guys, if you don't have pen, you're using mouse, you need to change the intensity often, because it's just like you mimic the pen pressure, but manually do it. So you got an idea, right? Now, like later on, I will introduce you more brush. Next section, when we come back, I'll see. Do you guys want me to do? No, I will do it. Okay, so we will detail this together. But if you can't wait, go ahead, have fun for this weekend. And there's no homework as long as, let me save this as again. So I'm gonna call number B3. So I'd like you to have just only this shape. Oh, not that one. Lion B. That's all I need for Tuesday. Okay. So I will. You will just do screen capture. Well, let's do. Yeah. You guys know how to do screen capture? We're gonna do render later when we finish this. But to screen capture on, let me reduce this. Snipping tool for PC. Now for Mac, I do not know. For Mac, I do not know what the screen capture is. Glenn, you probably have to Google on the Mac, like how to do screen capture on that. So now, this is the snipping, and you just click new, and then you just drag, and then you just save it. So, and you can call a blocking, and use JPEG, so that's smaller size for now. When you render, yes, you use PNG if you want. So I'm gonna call a Lion B blocking. So that's it for today.
So, sir, when you say you need the head, do you mean then we have to make the entire
No, you need
line?
this, something like that.
Okay.
Like,
Now, don't we already have a discussion that's due in terms of our Project One research?
oh gosh, I forgot. Yes.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me save this quick.
But isn't that due till like the 20?
Let me check. It's not due today, right?
Oh, no, it's due next Tuesday.
Okay, yes, okay. And I explained it on last Tuesday already, did I?
Yes,
About-
you did.
Yes, so that's all you need to do. Just post it on the submission. Blocking research right here. And when did I?
Yeah, I was looking for that. I wasn't sure where it would be.
Thank you to remind me that.
Oh, sure. I mean, because if we're going to do Lion 2, I just wanted to be sure that that's
Are you
still.
looking for the due date for it?
Right.
It's under like the Project One thing, intern projects. It's January 26th.
Got you. I'm looking for, like, I thought that I would put it right here, but I did not.
So by Tuesday, we have to have the lion head.
Yes, just only like what you see it here. That's all. And then we work more on detailing brush to detail all of this. And then we're going to put a basic color onto it. And then you're going to take a rendering and then pose it as an in-class exercise. So,
Okay.
and then I am planning to do another construction, the whole body of the horse. So that will be the second one. And then I will give you more time to work on the project one. So
But
now,
it's mandatory, though, along with the discussion that's already been created.
yes, it's already created, but I didn't put the time, right? research one. I just didn't put the time. So hold on one moment. Let me go to plug the time in so that it makes sense. Here we are. January 26th, guys. Do the January 26th, Thursday. And that will be 2 p.m., 2:15 basically. Okay, so now it's plugged in. It should, and I will plug all the deadline so that you can see right here. And project due, I didn't have a revision is project 2 revision. Oh, I didn't have a revision. Revision should be a week after February.
And you're not looking for something totally perfect either when it comes to the lioness head.
No, no, not at all. Just blocking it. I mean, the reason of the exercise so that you're familiar with moving object, rotate, changing, form them together, and learning to construct the stylized collector, basically.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. But the detail, we'll do it together. Unless, like I explained, if you wanted to go ahead, go for it. Like what I show you, that's the only tool that you need to accomplish it. Can you see? So this is not what I am looking for Tuesday. Not required. Okay. So
Wait, what isn't required? I'm sorry. I'm
not
confused.
required. Not required. This is what you require to do. Something like this.
Okay.
Or separate pieces.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't make sense.
I think so.
You think so? Not think so. So are you guys clear what is due on Tuesday?
Yes, sir.
So that's it. Just separate sub-tool to form the shape. And you're welcome to do a little different. It's fine. Can be different animal too if you want to. Because basically the same basic. You have a cylinder on the nose, cylinder on the mouth, and then sphere on the tip of the mouth, the head, and the cylinder on the neck.